Hello everyone, thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting my YouTube channel. I really appreciate it. So I've now got over 150 subscribers, which is actually, I think it's dead on 150 when I last checked. So thank you so much for supporting me. I really appreciate it. And so this is going to be a video about something that someone has kind of requested, but also something that I said that I would do, but had a lovely comment on my mini sketchbook tour video that I will link in the description below. So you can go and watch that if you would like, but I will also show you again on this video, but I'm not going to go through all of it. So this is the little sketchbook that I've made, and this is an A6 sketchbook, and in this video I'm going to be making one of these sketchbooks, so I will show you the whole process of how to make this. And you can make this any size you like. It really isn't limited even to the size of paper that you have, because you can stack smaller sheets of paper together, as I will show you how to do. So this is a sketchbook that I've made several times, and it's a beautiful way to create not only the art within the sketchbook, but the sketchbook as well, which I find such a wonderful practice. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to fold this piece of paper. Let me just try and work out how I'm going to fold it. Okay, yes, so I'm going to fold it in half. So this is a piece of mixed media paper. I think it's a Canson one, but it really doesn't matter at all what paper you are using for this book. What I would suggest is folding it, when you folding it really quite firmly. Have I got my bone folder? No, I don't know where that is. So just fold it really firmly, and you could use anything actually. I shall use the end of a paintbrush to fold it. Okay, so I've folded it in half, and I'm going to fold it in half again the other way. So this way, I'm going to use my paintbrush again. So you don't need lots of fancy equipment for this at all. And then I'm going to fold again into the middle. So I've folded the whole thing in half and then half again, across the other way, and then I'm going to fold the edges into the centre. There we go. Into the centre, and then into the centre again. So I haven't done any measuring at all, and I have made this lovely grid here, and I'm going to fold it just back the other way again. So each seam is folded in both directions. Okay, so the book that I'm going to make is going to be a landscape book, because I really enjoy the landscape format, because I like making landscapes. So I'm going to do that. So what I'm going to do is, and you can do this, like if your bit of paper's massive, you're going to have more lines on it, obviously, so there's going to be more folding involved. And what you want is a grid like this. So you want the side, because these are going to be our pages, so you want these to be kind of equal in size, but also it doesn't matter massively. This one that I've made, you can see some of them are a slightly different size, like I haven't folded it quite as well as I could have done, but that doesn't matter, because it's it still is a lovely book, and it doesn't have to be perfect. That is not what we are after. So what I'm going to do is fold. Or what I might actually do is make a really tiny one, and then you'll be able to see what I mean. So about the multiple pages. So I'm going to fold this again, and I'm going to fold it into the centre again. As you can see, these videos are unedited. actually really enjoy making this kind of longer form content. It's not my favourite thing to do, to make reels that people are watching for kind of 15 seconds, and it's taken me 45 minutes to make it, and it's a 15-second video. But I do like making these longer format videos. Okay, so here we are. So you might have this, but only on a bigger piece of paper. So this is going to make a really tiny, cute little book, which is going to be excellent for traveling or doing whatever I'm doing. So then I want to cut it. So what I'm going to do, in fact, I'll mark with a pencil exactly where I'm going to cut it. So then when you are doing yours, you'll be able to screenshot this if you want, and then you'll be able to see exactly where you're going to cut it. So because I'm doing landscape, I'm going to hold it this way. If I was doing a portrait book, so if I wanted it to be that way, so I want mine to open lengthways like this one, so I want it to open this way. If you wanted yours to open that way, then you'd have the paper this way, and make the cuts accordingly. So I'm going to cut along there, and I'm going to stop there, so it's attached here. And then I'm going to come all the way along here and stop there. So this is attached as well. And then I'm going to come over to this side and come along there. So that is my cuts that I'm going to make. Okay, so it's joined here. So it's like a snake. So I'm going all the way around and then up to the top. And this will be folded in a moment. So I'm going to cut these lines. And again, try and cut on the line, try and cut on the fold, but it really, you know, is not important. You can make this as neat or as messy as you like. The thing I love about making things with my hands is that they look like they're made with my hands. I don't want anything to be perfect. Things that are perfect can be made, or things that need to be perfect can be made in a factory. They can be made, you know, and that's not to say that there's not skill involved, but just that nothing has to be perfect. Things are handmade. Things that are handmade can look as though they're handmade, and that is okay. And our purposes here is really just to produce a beautiful sketchbook to create in, not to make things perfect. Okay, so now I've got my, no, I can hold it up that way. Now I've got my sheet of paper here. Why am I freaking out about the direction? I'm going to have it that way. But it really doesn't matter. And then we're going to fold it. So let me just make sure you're fully in the shot. Yes, we're going to fold it. So I'm going to fold this way, and then that under, and then that over. And then I'm not going to fold it that way, because that would mean that then I can't open the book. I'm going to fold it under, and then I'm going back this way. So this way, under. So I'm kind of concertinaing it. You know, this is kind of a form of concertina sketchbook, I suppose. And then under, and then over, under, over. And then when I'm at my end again, under, like that. Okay, and that is how I have folded my sketchbook. Let me work out which end is going to be which. Is that going to work? So yeah, so here we go. So here's the first page, and then we turn, and obviously the pages in here are going to be, you know, you're not going to be able to use those just because of the construction of the book, but that's okay, it doesn't matter. So this is going to be our sketchbook. There we go, a lovely tiny cute little sketchbook. And I'm going to just press on all the edges to make sure it's folded really nicely, really well. And then I'm going to make a cover for the sketchbook as well. So there's my sketchbook. Let me dig out some cardboard. Okay, so this is a bit of cardboard that is packaging material. And what I think I'm going to do is see if I can use this fold to create the book. So I'm going to make the bit of cardboard fit the book somehow. Hang on. I wonder I can put just a little crease in there with this palette knife, like that. And then I wonder if that allows it to fold, or if it folds this way. Ah, there we go. Okay, so let's go all the way across with that. So just making a little dent, and it doesn't have, the cardboard that you use doesn't have to be this thick. It can be any cardboard. You could even cover it with paper if you wanted to. You could cover it also with another piece of like watercolor paper, or whatever paper that you're using. We're just looking to keep the whole book contained a little bit. So there we have the cover, and this crease is going to be on the cover. I don't mind that at all. And I'm going to see if I can measure out how this is going to fit. So I'm going to cut, as you can see, I'm not measuring anything, I'm just eyeballing everything. You can of course take as much time as you like and make it very perfect, and that's absolutely fine. But for me, I like things to, you know, what's the function of it? If it's to be a beautiful book, then fine. I may take a longer time over measuring everything. But my purpose is to make a functional book. I'm very keen on function, and, you know, what is the purpose of this item? You know, I love the imperfection of things in general. So here I have a extremely imperfect cover for my book. And so my book is going to fit in there like that. There we go. This is a bit slanted. I could trim that up if I wanted to. I'm really not bothered. I'm not fussed. I could have it that way without the crease along there. The point is you're working with, you know, I'm working here with recycled fabrics, recycled cardboard, so materials. So it's not going to be perfect, but it is going to be lovely. So now we're going to stick it, and I would say use PVA, or I'm going to use PVA. There's other glues that you can use, of course, and in bookbinding generally it's they often use PVA mixed with paste, so mixed with like flour and water kind of mixture, I believe. Any bookbinders, come into the comments and feel free to correct me on that. So I'm going to place my PVA on both sides. Now this bit, again, we're not making something that's going to be perfect. So for our purposes, or what I might actually do is put also some PVA just a little bit on here as well. And then I'm going to stick it and I'm going to leave it. And if you want it to be nice and solid, the best thing to do is leave it, you know, overnight or for a few hours with something heavy on top of it, and then it will really stick. And I shall put it over by my radiator there, so hopefully it will stick nice and quickly, and then I can come back to the video. So let me just work out which way round I'm sticking this. It's going this way. The glue that I'm using, it's PVA, so it's not going to stick right away. I've got a few minutes and I'll be able to move it about. There's that one there, and then I'm going to come over the top and stick it like that. So I'm going to press it, and then I'm going to leave this with something heavy on top of it. What have I got? A heavy book. Oh, this is good. A nice vintage, a nice heavy vintage book. And I'm going to put that over there by my radiator, and I shall come back when it's dry. Okay, so I'm hoping that this has mostly dried now, and I'm going to show you what it looks like. Hopefully it has dried. A couple of the pages have stuck together. There we go. Oop. Wonderful. So here we are. Here's our little book. Let me check I'm still in the shot. Yeah. And the pages have stuck. And now we have this beautiful little book. Hang on a minute, let me just stretch that out. There we are, that's better. So here we go. Let me just kind of go through it and kind of refold it to its new shape. There we go. And then this one the same. It kind of needs to know where it lives a little bit with the cover. Okay, there we are. So there's my little sketchbook, and what I'll do is I'll go away and draw and paint in this, and then I will come back and show you the sort of things that you can do in a little sketchbook like this. But what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to cover it. So what I have over here is some collage paper that I'm in the process of making, and I think I'm going to use this collage paper to stick over the cover of the book. So let me peel this off. So this is a silicone mat that I paint on, and what I do is I allow the paint to dry on the silicone mat, and I have a couple of these, so I use one and then make collage paper out of it. And if you want to see the whole process of how I do this, I have another video on how to do it. Sometimes not all of it comes off, that's fine. I'm just looking for really interesting textures and colours. There's a bit in the middle there that hasn't quite peeled. This has been over there since yesterday, so obviously just hasn't quite dried in the middle. And there's the collage paper, and the bit that's left on there, I can just stick a bit of tape over that and peel it off. So let me see how I'm going to make a really lovely journal cover to go on my book. And this might mean me sticking it and then re-trimming it as well. That's fine. So I'm going to cut that so it's about the right shape. I'm going to re-trim that a little. And then I'm going to cover the book in this bit of collage paper. So I'm going to put PVA on here. There we go. PVA all over where I want the collage paper to stick. I'm going to move that out of the way. I really like this part here, this really fun texture here. So I'm going to begin by kind of lining that up there, making sure it's stuck down. I'll trust it not to fit. Okay. There we go. And then I'm going to stick it all down. So this collage paper that I've got here is wet strength tissue paper. So that's what the paper is that I've stuck to the palette. But there's all sorts of other paper that you can use. And then I'm going to trim off the excess. You could use a Stanley knife or a scalpel to do this if you liked. There we go. Oh. And then there is a really super cute tiny little sketchbook that is really simple to make. Has so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 spreads in total, which is wonderful. So 16 double page spreads to use. And there's the little book. And what you can do is make 2 of these and then stick them together, so you can essentially double the size. So if you only had A4 paper, or if you only had or if you wanted to make a really thick sketchbook, it doesn't matter. You can just add them, you can just stick them together. So instead of sticking the sketchbook here, I would have stuck another, sorry, instead of sticking the cover here, I would have stuck another one of these to the front. So then it would have been double thickness. Thank you so much for joining me for this video. Let me know what else you'd like to see from me. And let me know if you've made your own sketchbook and how it went. I'd love to know in the comments. Thank you so much for joining me. Please like and subscribe.